you're interested in the outdoors, hunting, hiking, camping, or safety and security around your house, your home, your barn, you better get on board with thermal technology. In this video, I'm going to give you my honest review of the best entry-level thermal monocular out there for under 600 bucks. In order to do this, I'm going to talk a little bit about what thermal technology actually is, how it compares to night vision, why you might need both. I'm going to give you my honest, detailed review of this ATN OTS-XLT thermal monocular, and then I'm going to give you a side-by-side comparison with a comparable unit from FLIR. And I haven't even told you the best part yet. Once this video reaches 1,000 views, we're going to give away this brand new ATN OTS-XLT thermal monocular, only used for the purposes of making this review, to a subscriber chosen at random from the comments in this video. So you got to be subscribed and you got to comment on this video. The full set of rules will be down in the description. If you happen to miss this giveaway, if you're watching this after 1,000 views, go ahead and subscribe and hit that notification bell. We have a ton of content on this channel that you're gonna love, and we do giveaways like this all the time. You're not gonna wanna miss the next one. Let's get back to the video. Let's talk for a second about what thermal technology actually is. Thermal monocular, thermal scope, whatever it is looking for radiated heat off of any warm surface. It can function equally well in the day or night, doesn't need any light in order to operate, but it does work better the higher the temperature differential off of your target subject and the surrounding objects. Now remember, you're talking warm surfaces, so warm-blooded animals you're gonna see, cold-blooded not so much. Now how does night vision compare with thermal technology? Night vision isn't looking for radiated heat, it's picking up even very, very small trace amounts of light, or infrared, in the day or night. Night vision technology has been around longer in the consumer sector, so it's a little bit cheaper to come by. But both of them have their own unique applications and uses. Night vision scopes can work extremely well in hunting situations, but infrared illuminators can light up the brush and keep you from being able to see clearly through thick foliage. Thermal technology can help you see a heat signature around some dense foliage, not necessarily through it. It's not like the movies. Thermal monoculars do offer you a safety advantage as well over night vision and thermal scopes, because you can raise up a thermal monocular right to your eye without raising your gun and pointing it in whatever direction. There's probably no better way to illustrate the differences between thermal and night vision than to tell a story. Let me take you back to one of my favorite hunts with Afton and I in the hogwoods. So this story goes back to Afton's first ever wild boar hunt. And it was an awesome hunt. We had a great time. She made a great shot on a good sized pig that showed up just after dark, and she dropped him in his tracks. We waited the requisite amount of time, even though he went straight down. When we climbed down out of the tree stand to go see the pig, I could hear pigs moving not far off, kind of through the brush. Looked through the night vision scope that was on the crossbow and could not see anything. So, switched over to the thermal, and I could clearly see a large group of pigs that was just through some brush about 30 or 40 yards off to our right. In this instance, I did not want to be on the ground with those things because you don't want to startle them, and those things can charge you. So there's a bit of a safety issue here. So we waited them out in the tree stand. But here you can see a comparison between the night vision scope and the thermal, where the night vision infrared illuminator is just lighting up that brush and getting so much reflection off of it that I can't see the pigs through it. But on the thermal, you can clearly see around a lot of that brush and see the heat signatures of all those pigs. Now, as it happened, it was kind of a happy accident. The pigs eventually cleared off. Another lone pig showed up later, and we were able to double up on my birthday. All around, awesome, awesome hunt. And this thermal played a key role in tracking down my pig that I shot, who didn't drop in his tracks, but we were able to locate him a little while later. All right, so this ATN unit is brand spanking new. So this is our first experience with it. You guys are gonna see it live, so let's go ahead and cut the plastic off and see everything they send you in the box. All right, so we're gonna get our first look at this thing here. All right, instruction manual is included here right on top. Looks like there's a cleaning cloth that we'd want to use on the lens. Now we're getting our first look at the unit itself. It looks larger than I would have expected. It's larger than the FLIR, but it looks like a sleek ergonomic design. It's not too heavy in your hand. Comes with a nice rubber eyepiece, built-in lens cover. Looks good. Check out what's in this box. I'm gonna assume that this is our charging cable. Oh, there's a nice, like a neoprene cover and carrying case in here. That's really, really nice. And a USB charging cable. This is USB Type-C. And just so you know, I checked what was in that other box. There wasn't anything in it. It was just a space holder in there. So this is it. This is everything that comes with the unit. Looks like it's got everything that you need, nothing else. Let's go ahead and take a look at the specifications for both the ATN and the FLIR Scout TK. Looking first at the dimensions, trust me, even though these dimensions look like they're fairly similar, you can definitely see a significant size difference. The ATN is much larger when you have both units there in front of you. It's going to take up more space in your pocket and in your pack. And although the difference in the weight looks significant, and it is, the ATN is more than twice as heavy as the FLIR, the weight didn't really bother me. Both of these coming in at significantly less than a pound means that they were pretty comfortable to carry around in the field. The ATN unit has a significantly higher resolution on the screen, and that's one area where you're going to see a difference between the ATN and the FLIR. The image is just sharper and more clear on the ATN. You also get up to an 8x zoom with the ATN unit versus the FLIR with no zoom available. It is digital zoom, not optical, so the image quality isn't great, but still, it's there if you need it. The sensor and the detection distance are areas that you're going to see significant differences between the ATN and the FLIR as well. Here's a side-by-side comparison of both units looking across a duck pond at my dad. The distance is 97 yards. To be fair to the FLIR, the manufacturer does state the upper limit for human detection is 100 yards, so this is already pushing it for the FLIR. But you can see as I cycle through these color palettes, the image quality is just much sharper and clearer on the ATN side. You can see that there clearly is a heat signature there on the FLIR as well. Depending on your application, I will show you something that's a little bit further away on both units. Here at 185 yards, you can see a water pipe much more clearly on the ATN side, but you still, again, can see a heat signature is there on the FLIR. Both units have a built-in rechargeable battery. ATN says that their capacity is more than double the FLIR at 10 hours versus 5 on the Scout TK. To be honest, I've never had a problem with the Scout TK's battery life. I don't keep the unit powered on the entire time that I'm in the field. Battery life at 5 hours or more is more than adequate for most hunts. USB charger type is a C on the ATN versus a micro on the FLIR. That's how you're going to charge your unit and download data, videos, images to your computer. You're going to want a powered USB hub in order for this to work optimally. There are only 4 color palettes on the ATN versus 8 on the current version of the FLIR Scout TK. 4 or 8 really doesn't matter to me. I find that 1 or 2 is more than adequate. I usually only bounce between the white hot and the black hot anyway. There is significantly more storage in the ATN at just under 7 gigs of usable memory. That makes sense since everything seems like it's a higher resolution. Your MP4 video files take up significantly more space. However, I have never had a problem with the memory and running out of storage on the FLIR. And the best news is MSRP for these 2 units is exactly the same, just under $600, making them some of the most economical options if you're getting into thermals. Now I'm going to walk you through the use of the menu and the operation of each unit. Alright, so starting first with the ATN and working from front to back. Comes with a nice rubber built-in lens cover. Then this knob on the front adjusts the focus. Then moving on to the buttons, a long press on this first button will turn the power on. Short press will put it into sleep mode. Nice feature. The second button controls the camera. A long press starts and stops your video recording, and a short press takes a JPEG picture. The third button from the top is extremely important. A long press on this button brings up the menu on the screen, while within the menu, a short press on the camera or zoom buttons, those are the second and fourth buttons on the unit, will move you up or down through the menu choices respectively. Within any section of the menu, a short press on that same button will help you change your options, like brightness or contrast. Outside of the menu, a short press on that same button will toggle between one of the 4 color palettes. A long press on the last button will activate flat field correction if your display gets out of whack, and a short press toggles between the zoom settings. By turning this diopter knob, you're going to see very slight adjustments to the image sharpness. On the underside, you have a threaded receptacle for mounting on a tripod, and your USB connection port is here for data downloads and charging. Let me tell you about a couple of features on this ATN that are a little bit harder to film through the eyepiece on the unit. The first is an option called Digital Pixel Correction, or DPC. The unit gives you the ability to go in and correct any defective pixel that appears on the display. That's pretty cool. Because the unit that I'm working with is brand new, I haven't been able to test this feature, but I have to assume that as the unit ages, this will come in handy. The other feature that the ATN unit has that the FLIR does not is a built-in rangefinder. Now, I don't love the design of this rangefinder. It's not a point-and-shoot rangefinder. It looks and functions just like the rangefinders in some of ATN's other products as well, X-Sight scopes for instance. You have to tell it what type of animal that you're looking at so that it knows roughly what dimensions it's looking for, and then you mark the top and the bottom of that animal so that it can then calculate the distance. All this takes a lot of time if you're out there in the field and you need to do this quickly. I prefer to carry a separate standalone rangefinder, but if you don't have any other option, this will work well for you. Let's move over and take a look at the FLIR. The FLIR also comes with a rubber lens cap attached so you don't lose it. Here's your USB connection for data download and charging. Long press on this power button powers the unit on. Short press on that power button brings up the menu. Once you're in the menu, navigation's fairly intuitive. FLIR goes so far as to put a button map over here on the left-hand side that corresponds to the buttons on the top of the unit. So it tells you exactly how to navigate up and down and to select to toggle features. Most of your options in here really relate to what you're seeing on the screen of the unit. You also have the ability to view and delete photos in the gallery section. To be honest, I've never found this to be a useful feature. You really can't do much else in this area. Pressing this up arrow will adjust the brightness. Long press on this camera button will start your video recording. Short press will stop it. And a single short press will take a JPEG image. And this last button will toggle you through each of the color palettes. There's an LED light on the rear that's on when the unit's on and will display your battery status. I don't love this because I hunt a lot at night, but a piece of tape will cover this up. The diopter adjustment knob is in exactly the same place as on the ATN. And unlike the ATN, there's no place to attach this to a tripod. Thanks to my wife, the hand model. Unfortunately, I cut my finger cooking dinner last night and I didn't want to subject you guys to that. Now let me give you the rundown on certain features that I like better on each one of these units. And some of these might seem kind of petty, but I have to nitpick here a little bit. But hey, it's what I'm here for. First for the FLIR. I love the compact design and the lightweight. It comes with a longer lanyard. It actually goes around your neck. The ATN has a wrist lanyard, which I don't get a lot of use out of. And lastly, this sounds odd, the buttons are a lot nicer on the FLIR. You have to really mash them on the ATN, and if you have on thick gloves or something, or your fingers are freezing cold, it's not comfortable or fun. Maybe it's just because this unit is brand new, but this was my experience. As far as the ATN goes, we know that the resolution and the detection distance are far superior to the FLIR. I love the fact that it has no LED lights on during use. This is great for night hunting. And I have to give the ATN credit for at least having a built-in rangefinder compared to the FLIR not having one at all. So what do you do with all this information? Which one of these thermals is actually the better value, just under $600? The answer? Kind of depends. I'm a huge advocate of thermal monoculars. I think everybody needs to have one in their pack. Find one that works for your budget and get your hands on one. You won't regret it. Both of these two units will do their jobs. The differences between them, in my mind, come down to two things: size, and then a combination of detection distance and resolution. If you're like me, when I go into the woods, I can't fit another piece of paper in my pack. And so the size element really comes into play. I prefer the more compact design of the FLIR. Plus, I'm only scouting and shooting at things that are generally less than 100 yards away. If your application calls for something that can see a little bit further, if you're looking across fields, or you need a higher resolution on your images, the ATN is absolutely going to be the better choice for you. So it really comes down to whatever your application is. Bottom line, whichever one of these things you choose, thank you guys so much for being with us. Don't forget to subscribe and comment on this video to make sure that you're entered in this contest where we're going to give away this ATN thermal monocular. While you're at it, if you don't mind liking and sharing this video, it sure does help us out to produce more content just like this. We'll see you guys next time. God bless you.